Space Marines 2 is everything I wanted it to be. This is yet another game I was looking forward to this year that delivered. What I thought Warhammer Dark Tide was gonna be is what this is instead. I'll admit, after playing the game for the first day, I walked away a bit disappointed. I liked the game, but I thought I would have liked it a bit more. But looking back, that's because I didn't expect there to be a learning curve for the game. Also, the button mapping is a little weird. But after finding a mapping I liked and getting over the learning curve, I love this game now. Combat is very gory and satisfying, PvE co-op is fun, and the game does a great job of making you feel really cool. All of the trailers I saw, I kind of thought the game was going to be like a hack and slash, but like I said, there's a definite learning curve. Parries, perfect dodges, blocking, dodge rolling, and Doom Eternal style executions to regen your armor are all things you have to get good at to keep yourself alive when you're surrounded by the hordes, and I think this is much more engaging than if it was just a regular hack and slash type of game. Starting with operations, because this is the mode where you play with all the different classes you see in the trailers. This mode is tied to the campaign. In the story mode, Titus sends other Marine squads to do alternate objectives that help him progress in the main mission. And in operations, you play as that alternate squad, getting a different point of view of the same mission. Honestly, if you play the Warhammer, Vermintide, or Darktide games, this will feel familiar to you. The mission structure is pretty much the same. 20 to 30 minute missions having you progress through one long level with multiple objectives. But what I like is there's an objective marker. This was one thing I hated about the Vermintide and Darktide games. You'd blindly fumble your way around the levels until finding out where to go. But in Space Marines, you can bring up your HUD and it'll mark where you have to go next. The objectives in this mode have more variety than I was expecting. Search and destroy, fighting off hordes, capture and defend zones, boss fights, and escorting payloads with a railroad puzzle in it. Now let's talk about the classes. I main the Heavy and the Assault class because it has the electric hammer, which was my main weapon in Darktide, so basically I'm playing my Darktide classes in this game, the Ogryn and the Zealot. There's a learning curve to the game in general, but then there's a learning curve to every single class. And there's combos for every melee weapon type. The co-op is super fun, but I think it's at its best when you get a squad and everyone knows their class and their role. Like the other night, I was playing the Assault, so I was diving first into the hordes and doing crowd control with my hammer. The sniper on my team was staying in the back, and as I'm fighting off the hordes, the bigger enemies would be approaching me, and sniper shots would just be passing me and picking them off as soon as they got close to me, and the other guy was just constantly using scans. So I was protecting the sniper from the hordes before they got to him, because I know he doesn't have much armor and he was protecting me. So me and him stuck together throughout the missions we played. There was kind of an unspoken mutual understanding of each other's classes' weaknesses, and we protected each other, and it was really fun and cool. But in terms of classes, I think there's at least one or two of them that's going to appeal to everyone. And like I said, you have to really know your role and play it well, because if you don't, you're going to die in critical situations and it's going to have a domino effect on the squad and you will fail the mission because you die pretty quickly in this. Also, health and ammo is shared, so you got to keep that in mind. There's class and weapon perks with different variations for your playstyle, so you can really pick a class and make that Space Marine your own in terms of playstyle and aesthetics, because the customization is really good too. My first paint job here is the Tome Keepers. I'll probably go for the Black Templars or the Space Wolves color schemes next. But I'm pretty sure you've seen everywhere how good the customization is. Also, it's free, which is the best part. You just need to play the game to get the in-game credits from completing missions. I wish there was more than 6 operations, but apparently there's more coming later and a new horde mode that I saw on the roadmap. But yeah, buying customization parts and upgrading your perks and weapons all use the same currency, so that's, you're gonna do a bit of grinding. Kind of wish they had separate currencies for that, but I guess kind of one of my only critiques. But the PvP was really surprising. I'll be honest, I did not care about it when they announced this, like less than 0 interest, and I tried it and I actually like it a lot. At its core, it's very fun, but I think once the game becomes available for everyone, because I've been playing the early access version, we'll see some balance changes coming for PvP when everyone plays it and sees how unbalanced it is. Listen, I love playing with broken characters and ruining other people's day, but even by my standards, the Bulwark needs a nerf. You can just hold your shield and tank damage from the entire enemy team shooting at you at the same time. There's no stance break or anything like that. It is so broken, and the Assault can 2-shot kill you. Just slam you from above and swing his hammer and you're dead. So honestly, if the enemy team composition is two bulwarks, two assaults, and maybe a heavy, just go back to the lobby because you're not going to have a good time. For me though, being the team's shield and raining bullets down a hallway, I love playing the objective, so playing the heavy and just holding down a point is pretty fun for me. But yeah, PvP definitely needs some balancing, but again, at its core, it's like very fun. I've actually seen a lot of people on Twitter say it reminds them of Gears of War, so do with that information what you will. I'm not really a Gears fan, so I won't speak on that. The Assault class in the campaign is fun, and PvP, it's great, but in co-op mode, it's in a weird spot. You can't jump more than 10 feet in the air, and your jetpack cooldown takes forever. I really like this class, but I can see them buffing this in the future when people who play it start to realize its weaknesses compared to other classes. The way this class plays in PvP is how it should be in co-op. They want this class to do a lot of AoE damage, but you can't get in and out of danger. It's really lacking mobility for a class that has the only jetpack. So on harder difficulties, I tend to swap this out for the heavy. As for the campaign, I enjoyed it a lot. It felt like a PS3 game, and I mean that in like the best way possible. Like doing God of War 3 style executions on bosses and not having the game take the control out of your hands to show you cutscenes of you killing the boss instead. Kind of like how a lot of games do now. There were a lot of cool sequences that I don't see in modern games as much, you know, like free falling and avoiding debris in space and stuff like this. This was the highlight for me. I haven't done this in a game in a really long time. Again, overall, this is just a very enjoyable game, whether you're playing solo or co-op. And speaking of playing solo, the AI teammates are surprisingly good and helpful. They're not good enough to substitute for playing with teammates, but they're better than most generic AI teammates in games like this. I will admit that. It has some technical issues like long loading times and server disconnects, but nothing bad enough I'd say that really hurt my experience. So the game is great. It does have some balance issues with the classes in PvP, but it's very fun, which I think is like the most important thing. So if you're looking at getting Space Marines 2, I can definitely recommend it. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the game. If you've been playing it, what are your thoughts so far? You can let me know in the comment section down below. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.